Dell Slim Tower ECS1250. We are diving into this budget-friendly desktop from Dell. This is not a sponsored channel, not a sponsored video. One of my clients ended up purchasing this particular computer. There are different tiers on this model. The baseline starts at $499 with an i3 14th generation of Intel CPU. This is not that. I suggest to skip that line and start at the middle. This has an Ultra 5 225 Intel CPU with 10 cores. I think it starts at $649 with Windows 11 and a 1-year on-site warranty, which is unbelievable at this price point. If you're somebody who doesn't care how the machine works and what's inside and what kind of upgrade options the future may or may not bring, look no further. This is an excellent home family computer, low-end gaming computer, and surprisingly quiet. There is a CPU fan in here which is so quiet that my sound meter constantly turning itself off. Even when this PC is pushed its absolute limit, this thing just turns off. It says there is not enough sound to measure. Not only that, but the CPU is so efficient that I cannot believe the numbers what my tool is showing me. If this PC is just idling, we are looking at 6 watts. That's technically a laptop. If I'm bringing up a browser and have, let's say, 4 tabs side by side and start moving things around in a browser, it goes up to 10-13 watt. If I bring up 25 browser tabs side by side and just randomly clicking all over the place as fast as I can, technically mimicking an average office user, this thing has no hesitation. It goes. Let me show you this clip. It just constantly jumps and goes without a mask. Pretty much how this whole PC operates. It is super efficient, powerful, and really moving when you click somewhere. Business applications, browsers, Outlook, Excel sheets, PDF documents, it cuts through everything effortlessly. One of the best part of this computer, besides the price, beside the speed, performance, and how efficient, is how well it's designed. This simple design, believe it or not, coming from a Dell OptiPlex business class machine. This is a Dell OptiPlex in disguise. Last year, we would have called this an Inspiron, like a lower end model, but once I pull off the side cover, I see a Dell OptiPlex cooler, a Dell OptiPlex fan, a Dell OptiPlex designed motherboard, a Dell OptiPlex power supply. Everything in this PC is technically a stripped down version of a Dell OptiPlex, which lasts easily 6 to 8 years, even a decade without doing anything. I've been doing IT for 23 years. I've been doing Dell desktop by choice. There is no management above me telling me what to sell, how to sell it. I can go with any major brands, any manufacturer, any model line, and Dell business class computers are my absolute favorite. So let's take off the side cover and let's see what's inside. But before we do that, let's get through the ports. First of all, we have 3 USB ports in the front, 1 USB-C or Thunderbolt. We have a memory card reader, and we have one and only audio in and out. It's a combination of jack. It's a combo jack. You have both. If you have a headset and you have a microphone on it, this will work. Surprisingly, on the back side, there is absolutely no audio ports in and out. It's been completely cut off, and this will be the theme when we get inside. And we're going to look at the motherboard. A whole lot of things get cut off just to keep this PC under the cost. And it's phenomenal, believe it or not, what we have here. So we have 4 USB ports, 1 gig connection, hardwired connection. We have a HDMI and a display port. Both of them are 4K. If you daisy chain 4 monitors, you can get full HD on all 4 of them from these 2 ports. Top notch. This is a Dell custom made power supply, 180 watt. It sounds pretty low, but still efficient even if we add a video card, which we're going to talk about later in this video. So let's loosen up these screws and let's dive in and let's see what we have here. So first of all, my general experience is shockingly good. This is the quietest PC I have ever reviewed or actually worked on. And whatever this PC consume or actually not consuming power-wise, It is unbelievable how efficient and frugal. And the performance, when I'm adding these two together, obviously that has to be a downside, and there definitely is. And a whole lot of people don't like these branded computers because everything is custom made. Like this power supply, you technically can't replace it without Dell, because even if you find something like this, the connectors on it, it is Dell specific. So this is a 300 watt power supply. See, this connects to the motherboard like what we normally have, the white connector, and these are the extra power going into the motherboard. This is a low-end PC. I can show you that we have two of these connectors, but they decided to cut one off from the motherboard, so I don't know if the 300 watt power supply would be fully functional. Yes, I plugged it in, it works. I'm not sure if we would upgrade the CPU to something unreasonably high. So this is an Ultra 5. I put an Ultra 7 into this just to see what would happen. A K CPU. This budget-friendly computer does not support any type of overclocking. You can't go to the BIOS and change settings. You cannot change RAM speed. You cannot change voltage. Anything CPU related, anything graphics card related, everything is bolted down and simplified to the point when you can change the time and a date and maybe some of the security features, and that's it. This is the most simplified BIOS I've been seeing for years. So if you're looking at the motherboard design, this is a Dell OptiPlex. Obviously, we have our wireless card with Bluetooth, works great, no problem whatsoever. We have one single M2 slot on this motherboard. It's either a 2230 or a 2280. Yes, you can put a 2280 in it, but then what happens is you would have to restore the backup what you just created from this drive, or you have to have a USB thumb drive with Windows 11 ready to go loaded and do a clean install just to have this upgraded right off the bat. The best bang for the buck what you can do is, if you buy this for $649, you're only gonna get 8 gig. 8 gig is not enough, not even really to do any kind of business applications anymore. What I recommend you to do is grab either another 8 gig stick, a 16 gig stick just like this, just slam it into the slot. You have 24 gig. If you have funds and you can do maybe $80, you can put 32 gigs of RAM right off the bat just to start with. That is significantly cheaper than selecting a Dell option and paying $100 to upgrade the memory to 16 gig. So I would definitely do that. What do you think happens? Not just you're going to have more system memory for applications, but the integrated graphic chip also gets more shared memory. So for some reason, you guys always asking me about games, and GTA 5 is technically coming up under every single business class laptops, desktops, anything I review. What about GTA 5? Can I play GTA 5 on it? Yes, you can. If you have a single 8 gig stick, it's not gonna happen. If you add a 16 gig stick, the shared integrated chip goes from like 1 gig to like 8 or 9 gig, and then GTA 5 runs from 22 FPS all the way to 45 FPS, and it's butter smooth. Just add a 16 gig stick or two 16 gig stick. You can go up to 64 gig with 232 gig installed. But what we know is these are just their specifications. You can go above them. It might not be supported, but in a lot of times it works. In the previous generation of Dell XPS desktops, which is rated for 64 gigs of RAM, a lot of you reported that goes up to 108 gig and works no problem. This solid state in here, the motherboard is rated for 2 terabyte. You can put 4 terabyte in here, it works just fine. If you're looking at the motherboard, you see this SATA connector in here, which is great because we could technically install a 2.5 SATA drive, but then here comes the difficulty. Like, where would you put this drive? In the OptiPlex, there is a bay metal bracket when you can install, but this has none of that. Not only that, but you know what we're not seeing neither? There's also no power cord for this 2.5 SATA. You would need like a little piece of pigtail cable piggybacking the power from this black connector to a SATA power cord, and then you could have one SATA drive, just one. But that doesn't even work by default when you get this PC. As you can see, there is another serial port in here, SATA data, but it's been cut off from the motherboard, and this is what's happening. So what if you want to play with something where you want to do video editing? Can you do that? If the integrated graphics card is not good enough, you have one option technically in here. You remove this little cover, and then you can put a single slotted video card, half height only, which does not require extra power source because none of these power supplies will come with the power cable. So all you have to do is put this card in here, and you have a Gen 3 16-lane slot in here. Gen 3, 1 lane and 1 lane slots. I mean, Dell is cheeky. They on purpose putting this in here so none of the dual slotted video cards would fit in, because we are hitting the cooling portion of the card with the power supply. If this would be moved in here, just like in any $99 or more than $99 motherboard, third party, they have the slot right here, so you can have a freedom to put whatever put in. This actually made me chuckle. I was not familiar with this model before it arrived, so I tried to prepare myself and learn something. So Dell says this is such a future-proof machine because you have almost endless upgrade capabilities. So I was thinking about what kind of upgrade can you do with a PC like that. So they point out that you can put a half height network card in here, and then you would have 2 physical hardware connection. I'm assuming it's good if you have a media server, streaming server, maybe a NAS. Maybe you convert this to a pfSense. It supports Linux for sure. And in the sound card, they said like you can put a sound card in it. And then I realized, oh, because of this combo jack, that's all. And if you need a better quality or more output, more channels on your sound, you need a half height sound card. This is a very, very capable PC. This fan usually makes people laugh on my channel when I show you what it is. This is a full aluminum cooler, which is called a pancake style cooler because it's flat. It fit all these computers. This funnel, what happens is when a side cover is on, there is this particular area when it gets the fresh air, especially if you can find it. Okay, so it goes on this, and this is where the fresh air enters, and this funnel technically in here blocks all the other possibly hot components, which they are not. The power supply, the RAM, and the solid state, and a graphics card, unless you use this T1000, because this thing goes up to 90 Celsius or even 100. It can be brutally hot. So it's technically cuts off all the heat and getting the fresh air in. This CPU cooler, this one, when I push this PC to its absolute max, it goes up to 630 Celsius with this cooler. There's no thermal throttling at all. But I said, okay, what if I add this Noctua cooler, which has 4 heat pipe in it, it's copper, it's significantly better. What happens? The same thing, goes up to 68 Celsius, no thermal throttling, no noise. They are completely identical. I said, okay, but what if we bring out the big guy? Yep, the tower cooler from the Dell XPS machine. It connects to, sits in here, no problem. You don't need to do anything. You need a single screwdriver. It works. Obviously, you can't shut the lid because this giant sticks out of the PC about this much. Same thing, 68 Celsius as a highest temperature, no thermal throttling. So these options are just a waste of money. They don't do anything for you. Don't spend $100 on this Noctua. This is a very good option in other cases, but not in here. So I had so much fun to playing games, Modern Warfare, 60, 80 FPS with this particular card. The computer is super solid. There's no freezing, there's no circling, there's no hanging. So one of my favorite thing is when I'm running these benchmarks, and not just running Cinebench and PC Mark 10, but 3D Mark has a feature to stress test the CPU and a whole system, the graphics card. It starts cranking everything up and runs 20 tests, loop back to back, right after each other, and see what's the FPS difference between the loops. And if they are close together and not a whole lot of difference, the percentage, how stable is the machine, goes way up. This is 99.9. This is one of the highest score I have ever seen, and this definitely was not expecting to come in at a budget-friendly desktop. The performance, when I'm looking at other benchmarks, it is really good. If you have any question in regards of this particular machine, please let me know in the comments section. Your comments and questions are always welcome at this channel, and I try to answer every single one of them same day or as soon as possible. Thank you so much for your time. I'll see you in the next video. Scott's out.